We're going to take apart the Moto G6 Play. First thing you want to do, remove the SIM tray, which we've already taken out. That's on the side of the phone over here. Once you remove the SIM tray, you're going to want to remove the back cover. The back cover is held on with adhesive all around. And also there's some adhesive on some cables over here running on the inside, so be careful you don't damage the cables or cut them. And there's also one for the fingerprint sensor. Now to remove the back cover, it's going to be a little bit hard to tell where the line is that separates from the frame because of the color and the material of the phone. It just blends in. So you're going to have to heat up the back. Once you heat it up, use either a guitar pick, a pry tool, something that you're not going to damage the phone and cause any scratches or chips as you do it. And you can also use a suction cup, whichever you prefer. Now I've already taken the phone apart once, so it's going to be easier for me to take the back cover off. But I'm just going to run it along the sides again just to show you guys. Now when you lift up from the back, on the bottom area, you're going to want to use one of your tools and separate the cables that are sticking to the back of the inside of the back cover so they don't rip off. Now again, it's a little easier for me right now because this is the second time around. And don't pull the back cover off completely because the fingerprint sensor is still attached with the cable over here. Now you can either remove from the back cover or unscrew it from the main board and detach it, which is what we're gonna do. There's two small Phillips screws you're gonna have to remove. Go ahead and remove those. Now once you remove the screws, remove the cover. And then you're going to disconnect the cable from the main board. So now your back cover is free. Now you have 15 more Phillips screws you're going to have to remove throughout the phone on the back. And two of them, one over here and one over here, are covered with the S sticker, which basically shows that if you've taken the phone apart or not, because once you want to remove the screw, it's going to get damaged. Go ahead and remove all 15 screws. Now once you have all the screws out, you're going to lift up, which I believe is the wireless charging pad over here on the bottom. Go lift that up, use your pry tool, work your way around this plastic frame, pop it off. Next you're going to disconnect the battery cable, just right over here in the corner. It's a small one. Pop it up. That's disconnected. And then if you want to remove and replace the battery, you have these two black tabs on the bottom. They're just like the iPhone, which you're going to pull out. And then once you pull both of the tabs out, the battery will just come off. Now go ahead and disconnect all the other cables that are connected to the main board. And then you have the cable over here for the volume switch and the power button. There's a protective sticker over here. Remove that sticker. I don't know if you can see, it's like yellow orange color sticker. And then pop the tab up to release it. And slide it out. Now once that's out of the way, you have two more Phillips screws you're gonna have to remove. One over here in the corner, a silver one, and another silver one down here by this cable. Go ahead and remove those two. Now once you got those removed, go ahead and lift up your main board. Here's your main board. You have your front facing camera over here. Here's your main back camera on the other side. Here's your SIM tray assembly over here. Now at this point, you're left with your main ear speaker over here and your charger port assembly down here. Now go ahead and disconnect the cable down here that goes to your charger port. And you're going to want to remove this plastic piece down here. Now just to let you guys know, some people who always ask me about it when they have like Wi-Fi issues or certain reception issues, anything that's dealing with the antenna, usually these phones have lines running through these plastic pieces, which are for either Wi-Fi antenna or just cell service signals, things like that. These are the things you'd look at. Also, on this back piece over here, you see these gray lines over here. These have to do with the antennas because these run along the plastics. On the other side, they have the gold points or other points over here. If you guys look over here, you see these grays over here, which touch the board in certain areas, which give it the signal. You'll see these gold copper things popping up over here in the corners. So those are the things I would look into if I was having any sort of reception issues or any Wi-Fi signal issues, things like that. Alright, now that's removed. You have the black cable that goes underneath here that runs along and connects to the main board. Let's see if I can show you guys a closer shot. This cable right here. You also have your vibrator over here. So this charger port assembly is replaceable in case yours gets damaged. You also have your microphone down here. Now if you need to replace this screen as well, you definitely have to take the battery out. And then if you're just replacing the screen, you're keeping the frame. This is your screen cable over here. Once you remove the battery, you'd have to heat up the screen assembly and you would have to pry the screen off from the front. And then once you pry the screen off, you would take this cable and just slide it through the frame and replace it with a new frame, or just replace the new screen with the frame you currently have, whichever you're doing. In most cases, it's always easier to buy a screen that's already with the frame attached, so you don't have to go through the extra trouble of heating up the screen and prying it off. So now we're going to go ahead and put the phone back together. We'll start with this charger port assembly down here. Just slide it into the lip. Once that's in place, connect that cable on the bottom again. Then get your main board. You're going to put your main board, again, like a lip inside. Go ahead and connect the cables again. And once you got your power switch cable back in, make sure you lock it down and put that protective sticker back over it. Now you're going to go ahead and put the 2 silver Phillips screws back in. Now you can go ahead and connect the battery cable again. Now once you have the battery cable back in, go ahead and put your wireless charging pad with this plastic frame back here back in place. Make sure that's in place. And then you're going to go ahead and replace all your screws you took out, the Phillips screws, all 15 of them. Okay, now once you're done with that, you're going to want to reconnect your fingerprint sensor cable back to the main board. Once that's back in, put the cover back over it. And you're going to go ahead and re-screw it back in. Once you got the screws back in, you're going to go ahead and reattach the back frame. And you can apply some heat and put pressure back onto it. You can also apply new adhesive if you want. And you're going to power on the phone. And you're ready to go. So this is the Moto G6 Play disassembly video. If you guys want to see the Moto G6 disassembly video, I'll link it in the description.